Three Great Teachers. The book is a fiction work. It tells the story of a man named Jack Valentine whose life journey has many similarities to mine. Through a series of meetings with three special teachers, Jack discovers a powerful philosophy to reshape his life and approach his destiny. The lessons Jack learns through his extraordinary adventure will also help you make great changes in your own life. How do I know this? Because those are the lessons that transformed my life. I have experienced many failures in my journey through my life. However, every final obstacle is always a stepping stone that brings me closer to the truth in my heart and the best life I can have. Many years ago, I was a lawyer, pursuing success and all the material temptations that came with it, thinking that was my life. But as I worked harder and achieved more, I realized that nothing really changed. No matter how much income or material possessions I gained, the guy I saw in the bathroom mirror every morning remained unchanged. I was not happier or better off in any way. Reflecting more on the reality of my life, I began to realize the emptiness in my heart. I began to pay attention to the quiet whispers of my heart, guiding me to abandon my chosen profession and begin the serious process of soul searching. I began to think about why I am here, on this planet, and what my specific mission is. I asked myself why my life was not effective, and what deep changes I needed to make to help me get on the right track. I am considering my core beliefs, assumptions, and perspectives that I have right now and committed to purifying unhealthy perspectives. During this intense transformation phase, I read books on self-reliance, personal leadership, philosophy, and spirituality. I participated in many personal development courses. I changed my diet, thoughts, and behaviors. Finally, the person I developed into is more reliable, harmonious, and accommodating than my previous self. 3 airplane tickets were neatly arranged, one stacked on top of the other. Upon closer inspection, I realized that they were all first-class tickets to 3 famous destinations in the world: Rome, Hawaii, and New York. Accompanying the plane tickets was a map of each destination, with directions drawn in red ink and an X circled, indicating the location where I needed to go. The final component of this gift was a handwritten letter from Uncle California. The letter read, "Dear Jack, I'm sorry for leaving you too fast, son. I knew I would be leaving soon. You are a good man with many prospects, and I know you will have a bright, exciting, and favorable life. I leave without any sadness, only extreme happiness and contentment. You see, I lived a good life, enjoyed dinners under the stars, and special moments under the sun. I went through life's deep pits and experienced profound sorrows. I also climbed to the highest peak and found happiness beyond what I was entitled to have. Yes, I made mistakes. But son, I'm a practical person, always have been. Therefore, I realize that taking risks and failing is better than not daring to take risks. Father knows that now you are standing at the crossroads of life. Although it is a difficult time when you search for answers to life's biggest questions, remember that this is also a great moment. People are most enlightened when they live in the things they do not know, because this is where everything and anything can happen. Open your heart to the world and the world will begin to open up to you. Father gives you 3 plane tickets. First, go to Rome. Follow the map to meet your first teacher. Everything has been arranged. There, you will learn about the first final question: have I lived wisely? You will find a way to control your life to live nobly and with greater understanding. From this first teacher, you will learn the importance of discovering the gifts in your life to live peacefully on the outside, and how to delve deep inside, as a human being. Then go to Hawaii. The teacher you meet there is a very eccentric character. Do not be deceived by his simple appearance and humorous manner. He is a true master. He will explain to you a wonderful philosophy about the second final question: have I truly loved? With him, you will learn how to love life and every moment that happens in your life. He will inspire you to experience your happiness, live with incredible emotions, and expand your heart to a completely new reality. And then, to complete your personal transformation, go to New York. There, you will meet someone truly special, who will help you with the third final question: have I given enough? With this teacher, you will be instructed on how to become a leader on this planet, not only in your career but also in your life. Don't let the underlying attacking attitude that may be starting to emerge in your mind dominate. This harmful attitude always appears when we have an opportunity to mature. It's nothing but the voice of fear. And that's not the truth. That's not you. Believe in the process that your Father is presenting to you with all His love. Set aside any doubts you have about the path you are about to take, and just step onto that path with the curiosity of a child, knowing that when you step out of the other end, you will be a new person, or more accurately far different from the person you are now, as if you were born again. We fear our greatest potential. We usually dread what we only briefly recognize in those perfect moments, under perfect conditions, when we have great courage. We like and even tremble when we recognize ourselves at such peak moments, and at the same time we shrink back from weaknesses, horror, and fear of those very possibilities. Discover how the world really operates. Those who live a noble life, even if they live in obscurity all their lives, they will not live in vain. There is always something radiating from their lives, a light that illuminates the path to their friends, neighbors, and perhaps in faraway future eras. Bertrand Russell. I can't believe it, I'm in Rome, with plenty of time and nothing to worry about except a backpack and some clothes inside. It reminds me of the famous Footprints in the Sand story by Margaret Fishback Powers, which tells the story of a man who dreamt that he was walking on a beach with God. Scenes from the man's life flashed across the sky, and with each scene he saw two sets of footprints in the sand. One set belonged to him, and the other belonged to God. Suddenly, the man noticed something very important as he looked back at all the scenes of his life. In the most difficult and painful moments of his life, he only saw one set of footprints in the sand, his own. The man asked God about this observation, expressing his disappointment and feeling of loneliness when he needed help the most. God lovingly explained that during the times of hardship, he was guiding the man. As Jack was pondering about the story, his first teacher appeared. It was a monk in traditional dress, with a rosary in one hand and a book with a bright red bow on the other. Thanks to his first teacher, Jack learned valuable lessons. He learned about the imperfection of human conditions. The condition of a human is imperfect, but we understand that we are actually perfect in our imperfection. If we didn't have weaknesses, we wouldn't have anything to strive for. Like those who follow the mystical theory say, the path is no longer valuable when you reach the destination. Imperfection gives meaning to our lives. It gives us a central task, to undertake the journey back to our primal and ideal selves as when we were born, and to discover our true selves. That is a sharing on how the world operates. An event in our lives is not inherently right or wrong, it is simply the way the world operates. Everything happens as a way to help us mature and overcome the parts of ourselves that need to be addressed. The reality of the present is nothing more than a reflection of the lessons we need to learn the most. This is a lesson about how to treat others, in situations where someone else makes a mistake. Always remember that the way to alleviate fear is through love. When we step back in the face of those who behave cruelly, we will see that they actually need our help because they are either scared or deeply hurt. In this way, we can easily show them love. And more importantly, there is a lesson on accepting failure. When life is smooth and satisfying, I realize that we tend to live at a shallow level. When life becomes harsh and we go through a crisis, we always look inward at ourselves. And so I think that the mystics and saints of the past were right when they observed that life's greatest difficulties are actually its greatest blessings, because they help us delve deeper and bring us to a wider experience of life. Failure always leads to breakthroughs. But what does success mean? To me, success is nothing more than living my life according to my own truths and principles. It is closely linked to the values that speak to the best part of myself, no matter how much external pressure from society there may be. Success is living your life in a creative process and realizing what's most important to you, not what's most important to anyone else. Such is the way of life of the spiritually influential figures who were present on this earth before you. The second reason we betray ourselves and borrow other people's way of life is because we fear our own good. Each and every one of us sees the world through our own stained glass window. Jack. Your life can change once you truly understand this. We see the world not as it is, but the way we see it. Each of us enters the world every day thinking that the way we experience the world before us is the experience of truth. But rather it is when our arrogance manifests and our denial emerges. Truth in any situation takes on the color of the window inside us, acting as our filter to the world. And just as the glass above takes in the light that comes to it and colors that light, so all the beliefs, fears, assumptions, and biases we carry with us color our experience. We think we all see life through the same eyes, but that's not the case. It is such a big lie that we fool ourselves into believing it. Each of us sees the world through the lens of our own circumstances, which are shaped by our own life experiences, and since no one on this planet has exactly the same experiences, no one on this planet has unique experiences of any given situation. Your life takes on a whole new meaning when you truly understand this. Each of us sees the world through our own filter, representing our soul pattern. This stained glass window of the mind colors the way we see the world and what we believe. Leading our lives requires us to recognize that the way we see the world is not necessarily a true reflection of the facts. We don't always see things the way we think they do. All the points in our lives are connected, and everything that happens to us happens for a reason. Life is truly a school of growth, and every situation in our lives promotes our personal growth if we consciously seek and then live the lesson it is being taught. Our life lessons, as I perceive them, have their own extraordinary beauty. Sorrows help us to grow and lead us to better lives, while good times show us our full potential and bring us well-deserved happiness. And I also realize that nothing really good or bad ever existed. Meet the master of the heart. Mo said, "I live every moment of my life. I am dedicated to living with a constant state of fulfillment. I try to be fully present to everything that happens to me. The past is long gone, so my philosophy is this: I never let my yesterday affect today. The future is not real. It's just an illusion as long as I care. The only thing I really focus on is the enjoyment of every minute. I live with the flow and take things as they come. I follow my heart. And I love that. Normal days, let me realize you are the treasure. Don't let me miss you in your search for some rare and perfect tomorrow. One day I'll stick my fingernails into the ground, or bury my face in my pillow, or stretch my torso, or raise my arms to the sky and want you back more than ever." Too many of us complain that we don't have enough time in our lives, yet we waste too much of the time we already have. And we spend our lives chasing this hard-to-find pot of gold, only to discover that our greatest treasures are the simplest treasures we've always had but never knew. Swiss psychologist Carl Jung once said this: "Your vision becomes clear when you look into your heart. Those who look outside are only dreaming. Those who look inside are awakened." No matter how much we collect, nothing can create any of the incompleteness we feel inside of us. As humans, we all have holes inside of us that need to be filled. Some of us have holes created by our parents who didn't take care of our emotional needs when we were young. Others have holes created by uncompassionate classmates, hidden from seeing the true value we create. And as we grow into adults, we unconsciously seek out good people and things to fill our gaps to complete us. And when we don't, we move on to looking for the next solution. It's a never-ending chase, and it leaves us with no peace within ourselves. So what's the long-term solution? Introverted, do whatever it takes to improve yourself. Fill in your holes. And remember that the gate to contentment opens inward, not outward. That's why every human being's first priority, I might say, is to perform the inner tasks, the inner work you just talked about. By handling these things in a very real way, then he could feel better in the outside world. The more he cleansed his inner world, the more beautiful his outer world became. And one of the key elements of that inner task is to open the heart. To open his heart was to live with love, to be open to human possibilities, to believe in the perfect development of his life and to live more vibrantly. Start living the magic of your life, be present with all the wonderfulness around you, and with a little practice, you will master these skills. No pessimist will discover the mysteries of the stars, or set sail to a new land, or open a new paradise for the human soul. Be brave with your life. To open your heart is to trust your instincts more often and to be open to the wonderful things that weave our lives. It was his way of welcoming the unexpected and being ready for all the miracles that awaited him. I believe that the true meaning is this: living in a state of constant gratitude will make your life experience more valuable and worthwhile. Your perception of the world will change, and you will enjoy the little joys of life and appreciate the small happiness that each day brings. You must cultivate a grateful attitude more often. And doing so is another way to broaden your heart and appreciate your life. Practicing gratitude every day is practicing love every day. One of the things I do every day is appreciate my food. Before each meal, I silently say a sincere thank you for the meal I am about to enjoy. I thank the farmers for growing the produce, the fishermen for catching the seafood, and the merchants for bringing it to the market. And I thank the world for giving me the privilege of having food on the table in a world where millions of people do not have enough food to eat. This is a simple action, but it will create profound changes within you. Trust me on this. I strongly advise you to pray every day. This has nothing to do with religion, it's your personal business. The prayer I say has everything to do with an attitude of gratitude. Create a short but emotional prayer that shows your sincere appreciation for all that you have. Say that prayer first thing in the morning and last in the evening. Again, the results you see will be impressive. The person who gives the most wins. I don't know what your fate will be, but one thing I do know, those who are truly happy are those who seek and know how to serve others. Imagine that your only goal in life is for your happiness, then life becomes a cruel and emotionless thing. You must aim for what your human knowledge, your mind, and your heart tell you. The meaning of life is to serve the source of strength that brought you into this world. Only then can life be a joy. To succeed in your career, first and foremost, you must treat others sincerely. Pay more attention to building deep relationships rather than focusing on sales, and the sales figures will automatically come. Great business success truly depends on human relationships. These are the bonds that connect us, people with people. Human connections arise when we truly try to serve others and make a difference in their lives, when we learn to communicate from the heart, speak our truth, and sincerely listen with empathy, understanding who we are listening to and making efforts to understand them. If you want to develop your career and become a leader, communication is very important. One of the most important lessons I have learned in my life is that a great life is nothing but a series of great conversations. Business success comes from having deep conversations with colleagues, clients, and even our future customers. If we stop participating in these conversations, we will fail in business. Success in the family comes from having meaningful conversations with our spouses and children. If we lose these conversations, we will lose our family. And inner success, success as a human being involves a constant dialogue with our own highest self. To lose that dialogue, he would lose himself. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It's one of the most selfish ways of life imaginable, and it's the source of many problems in the world today. This global community will change if we stop thinking about our individual well-being and start thinking about our common service. In other words, the world will change if we start to become excessive, not with being happier but with being more valuable. Stop wishing that life will be easier, but wish that he would be better, more caring and better. Stop wishing for fewer problems and wish for greater wisdom. You know, happiness is a byproduct and it comes to people who aren't looking for it. A perfect life is created when you serve perfectly. The happiness that comes to you in life is commensurate with the degree to which you help the world. There are 5 simple steps that help him pursue his aspirations. The first step is to articulate the vision clearly. Before you can say what you desire in life, you have to name what you desire in your life. The second step is to develop a strategy. He had to learn how to strategize his life. Always think about what your best life will be like and what you want in your ideal future. Then turn that vision into a strategy for executing it. How we must learn to strategize in our lives to be able to turn the vision into a concrete strategy to carry it out. Next, we have to form a contract with ourselves, create an agreement with ourselves that clearly states what you intend to do and when you do it. The final step is evaluation. Evaluate your results according to our vision every day. But it is important to remember nothing is as useless as effectively doing things that should not have been done at all. Peter Drucker. The gateway to a beautiful life. The main work of every human being is inner work. Every day, do something meaningful to deepen yourself. In order to have more time for the life you really want, you must first become your authentic self. Think of your life as a school that teaches how to grow. Everything you experience, both good and challenging, happens to you to teach you the lesson you most need to learn at that particular stage in your evolution as a human being. Understand this truth, and always ask yourself, what opportunity does this person or situation represent in terms of your personal growth? This is a huge source for inner peace. Be honest with yourself. The best life is the honest life. Never betray yourself. Take off your social mask and have the courage to show your true self to the world. The world will get richer because of that. Remember that we take in what we emit. Our outer life is nothing more than a mirror image of our inner life. Shine a light on your dark side. Be aware of the false assumptions, narrow beliefs, and fears that are keeping you small, and your outside world will change. We see the world not as it is, but as we think it is. Know that truth in any situation is filtered through your own stained glass windows, your own context. Clean the doorways, you will clean your life. Then you will see the truth. Live by your heart, its knowledge never lies. Follow the silent promptings of your heart and you will be led to follow your destiny. Immerse yourself in the curiosity of your life. When you relinquish control, you create a space for infiltration possibilities and treasures to flow. Take care of yourself. Do something every day to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. These are very important acts of self-esteem and self-love. Build human connections. Dedicate yourself to deepening connections with the people around you. Focus on helping others achieve their dreams, and are more concerned with serving yourself rather than being self-satisfied. You are here to enrich this world. And you will betray yourself once you forget this truth. Let's leave a legacy. The deepest aspiration of the human heart is the need to live for a cause greater than themselves.